Hello everybody, this is Jeffrey GT7 and welcome to the episode. In this episode we're going to do a quick walkthrough of the new update 1.57, plus I'll be showcasing a new run using the new Aston Martin Vantage at Tokyo Expressway. But let's go ahead and go through the patch notes real quick for the new update. As you guys can see, the three new cars, the Aston Martin Vantage, the Mazda CX-30, and the Renault Kangoo are going to be at Brand Central, so that's good in a sense of not having to wait on a certain car to show up at either a Legends car dealership or the used car dealership. They're all new, so you can just pick them up whenever you want to feel like it. Number two, we got ourselves a new update version of Selfie. As you can see, we got GT Selfie 2.1. So you can actually do some custom races with Selfie in some certain races. Number three, we of course have got some new events for certain tracks. Nothing too much there said about that. Number four, we got ourselves a new extra menu with the brand under Suzuki. You have to be collector level 35 in order for you to actually earn it and see what those cars are. We're going to go through that a little bit later on as well. Number five is going to be GT Auto with the car maintenance and service. This is going to be all about the swaps, which is my favorite part of the updates. And we got ourselves some 5 new swaps, so not a whole lot, but trust me, we got some strong candidates. We got both the BMW M2 and the BMW C4 from the last update. Both the 2006 and 2017 Ford GT and the Subaru BRZ S15, which this will make this car now officially have 2 particular swaps. So that's going to be it for swaps. We'll be going through that as well to see what those swaps are for those cars. You got a new scripts, new background photos added to that. They also went ahead and did some minor exterior interior details for these 2 cars, the BMW M3 from 97, and then of course the Unimog. The used car dealership, they have now assorted by the criteria by the number of cars you particularly own. In order for you to lock it, you must beat the game and see the end credits. Number 3, GT Auto, which is pretty cool. They updated that way whenever you do pick your original rims, they'll automatically will show and display your current settings, which is going to help me a lot, especially when I showcase the rims when I do my liveries. Sport, they upload the race entry showing you all the time trials throughout the midday, throughout the rest of the day. They add in a new controller, Thrustmaster 2598. So if you have that particular wheel, they actually add that as a new wheel. Brand Central has actually, they went ahead and got rid of some of the partners on the main menu. That actually worked on a couple of little stuff here and there, and they also went ahead and got rid of the Michelin pattern on the wheel. So here's a couple of screenshots from Gran Turismo Selfie 2.1. This is for you guys that own a PS5. Now I have a PS5, but I'm going to later in the next week do the complete update, and hopefully by then I'll actually be able to have this experience for this race. So you can see it's probably for some certain tracks you'll have the chance to race against GT Selfie. I will be very curious to see if they actually do have a race for Daytona International Speedway, just a super speedway course. If they do, I'll be curious to check that out and see if we can get ourselves some more homemade NASCAR races. If I do so, I might do a new series regarding with that. But next step we're going to do is going through the new cars. So starting off with the new Aston Martin Vantage from 2018. It's going to be the second car on the whole Aston Martin list, so it's going to be that bright yellow car. It's going to be quite a big buff compared to the 2015 version. So if you look at the stats, really good. It's like one of those cars you can just automatically pick out and it'll be already ready up, and you can use it for Tokyo Expressway without having to need to really buy any upgrades for it. So very good stats overall. It is a FR with a bit over 500 horsepower, 500 plus on the torque, 3,300 for the pounds, and is the turbocharger aspiration. So, and not too badly, the cost is about over 200,000 credits. It does have a lot of colors, so if you guys want to choose a color, you can, or a livery if you want to. But for this episode, to make things simple, I'm going to go ahead and put the legendary Aston Martin Racing Green paint job for this car, and that's going to be it for showcasing the Aston Martin Vantage. So I really recommend getting that car. Looks nice, it's very sleek design and very quick. Next up is going to be the next car going to be from France, the Renault Kangoo. It's going to be the very first car you see in the list. Nothing too much to really share about it, except for the car is extremely lightweight. It is a natural aspiration, very cheap as well. It's also considered a front engine, front wheel drive as well. So I don't really see myself doing this car at Tokyo Expressway. Le Mans, not really too much, but I do know there's several talented liveries out there for this Kangoo. So if you want to do your own stuff, maybe a lot of pictures with this car, or just do a full race with all kinds of different delivery companies and all together one race, you can do that too, and just showcase it at Facebook or any other social outlet out there. But very cheap, very affordable, should be an easy car to get from Grand Central. And let's now move on to the last car. It's going to be the new Mazda CX-30 smart car. I'm not going to even say the full list name. I'm just going to call it the CX-30. Here it is right here. Also a very affordable, cheap car at 29,000 credits. A bit more heftier and bigger than the Kangoo. This is more of a sedan type of car. Going to be at 3,200 pounds. Also a front wheel, front engine placement as well, with about close to 200 horsepower and about 200 pounds worth of torque. So if you want to pick that car up too as well, you can also do that if you want to. But for me personally, I am glad to see the Aston Martin Vantage into the game. Very smooth car overall. But that's the 3 new cars for this update. Now let's go ahead and switch gears over to the extras menu. As you can see, we're going to scroll all the way down to the very bottom. Of course, here's the new Suzuki list. And if you guys are curious, the first 2 cars, the Suzuki Gran Turismo Vision and the Jimny Sierra JC, you grab those 2 cars at Brand Central. And at the far right is the legendary Escudo Special 1998 rally car. Can be found at the Legends Car dealership, and I will be more than glad to share that this Escudo is back in the Legends Car dealerships, which I really recommend on going ahead and just pick that car up before it is sold out. A really great car to use for both for Tokyo Expressway and for Sardinia. Moving on next to back to the Aston Martin Vantage. Here is my setup build for Tokyo Expressway 600. I'm using the standard wheels. Here are the setups I have for the wheels. Pretty much keep the diameter and the width standard, and the offset is set to wide. For custom parts, it's going to be Type B for the front splitter. The rear, I'm going to keep it as is, the standard. And then for the wing, I got Type A. And to finish it all up, we got roll cage Type C. And that's going to be all the parts you need for a car customization for the Aston Martin Vantage. So here's a quick look at the particular build. Nothing too crazy here. I got the standard sport tires. I got the fully customized differential. Went ahead and fixed the downforce, 64 to the front, 228 to the back. Power restrictor at 99 with a fully customized manual transmission. Here's a look at the second part of the page. We got racing brakes and brake pads, racing clutch and flywheel. Brake protection stages 1 and 2 increased by rigidity, and that's going to be it for this build. And surprisingly, with this car, as we get the race started underway, the car, unfortunately for me, it doesn't really produce that much sound. It's more of a wind and tire sound if you do ride on the hood camera. Now, if you do race on chase cam or exactly in the cockpit cam, you actually will hear the engine a bit better. I'm just a little bit disappointed that the engine doesn't produce that much noise whenever you're in the hood cam. But for this car does in fact have 8 speed gears, and the car is actually decently good around this track. As we get to the first corner, we're going to be very close to the Porsche. The handling is very smooth as well, with it being an FR drivetrain, so you don't have to worry about too much about in the understeer or anything like that. It actually felt pretty comfortable when we started from the race all the way to the finish. Very smooth on the power. Also has some decently good acceleration with really good top speed. So if you do have the credits, I really recommend giving this car a shot. Now, it might feel a bit tight in the early stages of the race, but once the track does begin to dry up and once the tires do begin to, get up to temperature, the car should be a bit better the longer the race progresses. So as we get our way to the top 5, we're going to be very close to the GTR, almost hitting its left rear quarter panel. Go ahead and get ourselves in the top 5. As we get our way closer and closer to the front, we're going to get ourselves a good run, even though hitting the wall. going to chase down the older generation Supra, and with us having these racing brakes, we can actually stay closer to these cars as we get to our braking point. Once we get to that particular corner, we get ourselves a nice drive out of the exit with that torque. We're going to squeeze our way through beside the Supra and just miss that wall barely, getting ourselves P4. We're going to brake. Unfortunately for us, we did brake a bit too late, as we're going to get a nice bump to the older Impreza, and going to try to get ourselves a decently good run if we can out of this corner. We're going to get some of that slipstream from the Impreza as well, and by the end of the first lap, we should be at least an easy P3 overall. But the car, very smooth to drive, might be a little bit tight to begin with of the race, but has some really good characteristics for this car that you'll need for this track. So as we get the first lap complete, it's going to be a 2:20.8, which actually is a pretty decent time overall for your first lap at Tokyo Expressway. Fast forward now to the end of lap 2 to lap 3. We're going to get ourselves a nice run on the Honda NSX, getting that little bit of a slipstream, make a move on its left side, and get ourselves the race lead very easily from that main straight. We're going to go ahead and brake. Now, unfortunately for us, we actually did brake maybe a little teensy bit too late with a little bit of brake trailing. We're going to get ourselves not at the right line, force ourselves a bit wide, make a little bit of contact with the wall, and you can see it's still there, but thankfully when we get to the next corner, we actually do keep a hold of the lead, and we actually do run away from the rest of the field. Let's go ahead now, fast forward to lap 4. It's going to be our hot lap guide around this track, so I really recommend you guys watching the rest of this lap, and then I'll see you guys when we get to our pit stops. Alright, so as we fast forward to lap number 8 for our one and only pit stop, we did a 207.5, which I thought was a pretty good run overall on lap 4. Now for this particular pit stop here, all I'll be doing here is just refueling the car with fuel. As you can see, the tires still has plenty of life in them, and the car actually did feel pretty smooth and still had plenty of grip, even going through 8 laps in this race. So I just recommend just getting yourself some fuel, probably about 52% at the most. You should be good to go. As we get finished with the race, it's going to be a very smooth and quick overall total time, with this car being a 26:14, which I thought was pretty good for this car. So the car felt very smooth, very quick the whole entire race. No complaints really from the car, and very quick. 207.5 was our was our fast lap on lap 4 with the 26:14. So I really recommend you guys getting this car when you get the chance. Guys, has that standard bonus since we made contact, and that's going to be it for the episode. So here's a quick preview of the next episode. It's going to be using the M2 with its new engine swap, so I'll be covering that particular build. But if you guys enjoyed the episode, go ahead and leave a like. If you guys want to check out my other social accounts, there they are right there. If you guys enjoyed the episode, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That way you can keep yourself posted when my stuff does drop out. If you have a suggested build, want to go ahead and add that to the comment too. And with that being said, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day and night, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.